Hey guys, I am getting ready to take my kids up for about 10 days or so to my family's place up in North Carolina. It's just a nice little retreat in the mountains and the kids and I could use that right now. John is going to meet us up there next week, midway through the trip or so. But in an effort to have the atmosphere of education be my focus this year, I want to make a few more efforts toward field trips, which isn't something that I am a big, I don't usually do out of the way field trips with the kids. And so we have been going up to this place in North Carolina for 12 years. I've never, ever taken my kids to Charleston. The kids and I have been studying the Civil War since March, and we also did the Underground Railroad when we did Follow the Drinking Gourd, and in about a month we're going to be studying slavery once again when we do Who Owns the Sun for 5 in a row. So I decided that I was going to make the effort to make some memories with the kids on my own while I had them, stop midway or so in Charleston for 24 hours. I checked all of the different websites. Obviously it's a strange time to travel right now, so I wanted to make sure that safety was kind of on the forefront of what we were doing. I wanted to be aware of what I needed to do to follow the rules with the kids, make sure there were no restrictions as far as quarantining if you're coming from my state, etc. So what we decided to go with was a tour the one night of Fort Sumter, and then the next morning I found this really amazing tour I'm super excited about. It's called From Slavery to Freedom, and it's at Magnolia Plantation in Charleston, and I kind of stumbled across this really randomly. I called them and the woman on the phone was super excited. She said the tour doesn't get chosen very often, which is such a bummer because I think it's a really unique opportunity. Most people just want a tour of the gardens or of the plantation, the big house they call it. But these are restored slave cabins on the property, and apparently the man who started this tour is in town this weekend and he's giving the tour. So she was like, this will be a great experience for your kids and you can ask him questions. And so I thought, okay, the tour is about an hour, so we'll do that the next morning, then we'll get on the road. Because I've not really traveled across lots of states by myself with the kids. I've flown with the kids one time without John. This will be my first road trip, so doing anything alone is a little overwhelming to me, but I know we can do it just fine, but I didn't want to put too much on our plate. So basically we're leaving tomorrow. We're gonna drive to Charleston. We're gonna do the Fort Sumter tour, stay the night in the hotel, wake up, do the From Slavery to Freedom tour, and get on the road and go to our little mountain escape. So I thought I would take you guys along, a few different reasons. One, travel during this time is just different. I wanted to document it. I also wanted to document this experience for myself because it's an extension of what we've been studying for the last few months, and I've shared bits and pieces of it here online, so I thought I would share that with you guys as well. And just to give you a little peek inside, a lot of you asked when I said I was going to make the atmosphere of education my goal for this year. A lot of people ask for me to keep you updated on what that meant. For the most part, that means within the walls of our home, but passing by the place that we've essentially been studying for so long and not going would really be doing a disservice to my goal. So we're gonna go ahead and give it a whirl. I thought I'd take you along. Bear with me because it might be a little difficult for me to film solo, masked, distancing, on a road trip, but I'm gonna give it a try. So where are we gonna go? We're gonna go on the boat. Here we go. Don't eat it for your mouth. What do you think, Jess? Awesome. You think it's awesome? Mm-hmm.
How long did it take to get here?
30 minutes.
Oh.
To represent the rapid rise of the USA. And each night, it is taken down slowly to memorialize those who gave some or all in defense of their country. Are you ready? Thank you. Bob? Yeah. Steve,
What did you just say, Jesse?
We are in front of history.
We are standing in history. And Belly, you said you heard on the video that each one of these bricks were handmade by somebody who was enslaved, right? Doesn't that break your heart?
You're allowed to open it. No, Mommy. No, you're allowed to go.
It's very hot, huh?
Walking in.
Oh, okay, go ahead. I'll follow you.
Wait.
Figure out a way to keep Annie socially distant since she won't keep her mask on. You're doing a good job pushing that, Annie. Just proof that Mom's here too. Gotta get in the footage.
So if you once the coach was scared at the first but later he wasn't, and that's
All right, we are just back at our hotel. We are staying at the Hampton Suites in the historic district. So we are technically just walking distance to the Liberty Square Fort Sumter boat ride, but we just kind of, for time's sake, just parked in the parking garage down there. It was like $5. And now we're in this parking garage for this hotel, but it was walking distance. So if you're ever in Charleston, it's a good option, which was my intention when I made the reservation. But it's only 6 o'clock. We're dog tired. I've been up since 4:30, and I think we drove like 7.5 hours to get, on this leg of the trip. So I just did DoorDash Moe's. That was what the kids voted for. We intended to find like a cute little hole-in-the-wall restaurant. This is such a beautiful city, and I've never been here before, and so I was hoping like, oh, if we're staying in the historic district, maybe we'll find something. But we're just tired and stinky, and it was just time to call it for the night. So we're watching Minnie Mouse. We are playing Barbie dolls and Beanie Boos and action figures and waiting on our queso to get here. And then we have a big fun day tomorrow. So yes, I will see you then. Bye, guys. We are checked out and we are heading to Magnolia Plantation and Gardens, which has a tour titled From Slavery to Freedom. And it is a tour that takes you around, you take a tram, I guess, around the plantation, and they've restored the homes, and you just get a first-hand look at the living conditions from dating back from the 1800s all the way through the civil rights movement, and just how things changed. So after studying Who Owns the Sun and Follow the Drinking Gourd, I couldn't pass up this opportunity for the kids to really see some of the things that we had been talking about. So we are heading over there. It's like a 30-minute drive with it's only like 10 miles, but it's like traffic, they said. So we're heading over there now.
What makes the sun go to sleep every night, and what's it dreaming of? I wonder. How come the sky sometimes hides behind the clouds? Maybe it's just like me, a little bit scared of heights. Why does the rain always keep on pouring down when it's gray outside? It really makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder. It really makes me wonder. Ooh, I wonder. How come the trees gets undressed when it's cold? And don't they miss the leaves they left behind? Could it be to make the ground shine like gold until winter comes? Until winter comes, until winter comes. It really makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder.
keep in mind that as these children got older, they became more valuable. So that enslaver could sell them at any time, or give them away as gifts. This one is restored to look like 1930. 1930, we are far removed from slavery in 1930, but people are still living in these cabins. In 1865, they have a choice. They're free. They can stay or they can go. Some chose to stay. For those who chose to stay, they are now paid employees.
This is the window, guys.
Did you hear what he said? That somebody raised 13 children in this space. These are duplexes, so one side for one family and the other side for another. This is their whole space.
So one family what?
Just this whole space that we're standing in right now.
Mommy, I mean like they had like 13 kids.
Yeah, this was their only shelter.
There's also millions of big board helpers. Another window. Do you think they would like look up there?
Oh, what is that?
Maybe they would sleep up
I
there.
think that's like a loft.
Do you know about that? Like the program, remember?
Oh yeah. Jess, you taking some pictures on your watch? Okay.
Yeah. Probably the blanket. Mommy, look, they slept in that bed.
Okay, so did you guys understand what he was saying? At the end of the Civil War, the Union stayed in the South for 7 years to continue enforcing the freedom, and things were kind of okay then. But then the South said, if you want us to enforce this and you want it to be a smooth transition, we'll enforce it. So the Union left, and from 1877 all the way through, the Civil Rights Movement were not enforced properly. That's where other laws came into effect. Remember when we went to the Civil Rights Institute? We saw where Martin Luther King, remember that church and things like that? These were all laws that were made, and they had said they had 7 years of hope. And then things went really bad.
Mommy, look, they made the law on newspapers. Pine cones. This one has everything. Pine cones. I don't have some.
Now this one was restored to be like how the cabins were in 1960 when employees were paid. But obviously still not respected. Yeah, this one they used the whole space instead of making two families fit in one, right? What's this over here, Bella?
Rice fields, all to the left, all to the right.
A little bumpy.
All the plantations along the Ashley River, rice fields.
You guys know you don't have to wear it on the train, right?
I
No, you don't.
do. A rocket pop.
A rocket pop. Is it delicious? Oh my goodness.
Oh, here's the beautiful peacock. Oh, put your feathers on it and show off for us. Come on, pose. Come on, fan them. No.
I want to go. You think I'm free?
Oh yeah, look at this. Snake.
No squirrels.
Look at this peacock.
A turtle.
Where's the owl?
Oh, there.
Where?
Sleeping.
Where? I don't see
I
it.
see it right up there. He's sleeping.
Oh, there he is. All right, so that was definitely one of the most humbling experiences. And I wanted to give you some info on the tour. I was taking notes as quickly as I could. First of all, I think I probably said in the intro, but the reason that we chose to go, the reason that we like made the ultimate decision to go was because the guy who does the I'm sorry, people are walking by and I got distracted. The man who started the slave dwelling project and started this tour here was in town this weekend. He was the one giving the tours. So the lady on the phone was super excited and told me like, oh, you picked a great weekend to come. So we made the decision to do this for sure as soon as I heard that. Something really disappointing though that I heard was that there are 8 different tours or so here. There's like, you know, different nature tours or tours of the home, the big house they called it, and things like that. And consistently the Slavery to Freedom tour has the lowest numbers. I wasn't surprised that it was pretty low numbers today because of the social distancing and all that, although here in South Carolina, nobody's even like doing the mask things. I don't know what it's like. In Florida, it's pretty much mandatory everywhere right now, but in South Carolina, it seems pretty optional. But there was just our family and one other couple. So we like rushed over here thinking that they said you need to be here by 8:30. The first tour is at 10, buy your tickets. The afternoon tours can sell out. So I was like really shocked when we got here and we were the only other people besides another couple. The man who gave the tour is amazing and had like really solid information. He could answer any questions that the kids and I had to ask. But I'm gonna run through a few things real quick. So the type of slavery that we had in our country was called chattel slavery versus indentured servants. That was the slavery at the time in, you know, overseas. In Africa was when they referenced a lot. The people who own this property, this goes back 13 generations. This property was founded in the 1670s. They exhausted their sugarcane land in Barbados, so they came here. And first they tried to grow sugarcane, and then they tried olives, then citrus. All of that failed. They settled on rice, which I think I showed you some of the rice. You know, it was right before like the sawmill. Wait, no, what was it? I can't remember what it was. The rice mill. Sorry, I'm like, it's hot here. Then they needed more slaves to run the mills. The way that they would do the rice is they would flood the fields by controlling and stagnating the water, which would then cause mosquitoes and leeches and snakes and gators. And then the family would retreat to Flat Rock, North Carolina, while the fields were being flooded, and they left the slaves to, you know, fend for themselves with all of that, which is horrible. Under our American, I had never heard this in any book or anything we've ever done. In the southern states were trying to reconcile the ramifications of the Constitution, and so they asked for 20 more years after, hold on, let's see. In 1787, they asked for 20 more years. The Southerners demanded 20 more years of importing slaves, and they were given 20 more years, so that lasted till 1807. Bella, could you answer her, please? And then in 1808 is when they started that chattel system, because they now we're no longer allowed to import anyone, so they had to then make sure that they owned the slaves and their children and their children, and so they then attempted to preserve their health in any way, shape, or form, which is when they went from a system of they went to a task system, so instead of sun up to sun down, and the life expectancy became longer because they needed to increase their health and longevity and housing so that they could have children. This is really heavy stuff, and I feel like just rambling off the list isn't going to be helpful, but I don't want to forget any of this, so it's kind of for me and kind of for you guys. In 1870, let's see, 1870 to 1877, Union soldiers enforced the new laws, and then the southern states said, if you want a smooth transition, we'll take it from here. Take it from here meant Jim Crow type laws and certain you know, certain organizations that were, I don't want to say it right now on the kids, but, and then, yeah, I can't, I'll just write it all down here because I don't want to say it to the kids. Even though they heard it, I just don't want to field the questions at the moment with the littlest one in the car. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The cabins that I showed you guys were the field hands cabins. The cooks and coachmen lived closer to the big house. And from 1877 on, after the Union left, it went back downhill until the Civil Rights Movement because the president removed the Union Army from the South in 1877. So lots of info I didn't know. Let me know down below if you guys knew much of this. I did not know about those 7 years, and I'm surprised with all the research. I mean, we did the Civil War, the Underground Railroad, slavery for about 4 months last school year, and I did not learn about that, like the Union Army leaving. I knew that at some point things went obviously back downhill up until the Civil Rights Movement, but I had no idea the reason behind that. So that was interesting to me. All right, we're off to North Carolina.
How come the stars come to shine when it's dark from so far away and show us where we are? It really makes me wonder.